Hello, good morning, and welcome to the first Birmingham luxury market update. I am going to be releasing these kinds of market updates every Wednesday. I'm going to be doing it on YouTube. I'm going to have a video on Sunday, which is going to be a house tour. And then I am going to have market updates and kind of what's going on with real estate on Wednesdays. And I'm also going to have guests and all of that jazz as well once we get into the thick of it. So today we are going to be talking about luxury real estate in Birmingham. We're going to start in some areas that I'm actually very familiar with and that I grew up in. And then we'll kind of move into the more popular, more expensive areas as well. I first want to start off with, what does luxury even mean? And there's a lot of people who might have a misconception about that. Some people think of luxury as just $1 million and up. Some say it's 3,500 square feet. I think personally, it's in the Birmingham market, it's going to be 2 times your average sales price in whatever area that you're looking in. So, for example, Chelsea has let's say a $350,000 average sales price. Then that means that luxury would be over 700,000. So we are going to kind of dive into looking at what's on the market, what has sold this year in luxury, and then what it means for you as a seller and as a buyer. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned and keep watching. Go ahead and hit the like button and drop a comment below on if you're interested in luxury or not. So I appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button as well and share with somebody that might be interested in luxury real estate and knowing more about it. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. I am going to share my screen. So this is our MLS, and we have in this area, this is the North Shelby Hoover area. This is the Oak Mountain, Indian Springs, Greystone area. So this is really anything that is on the north side of Oak Mountain State Park to from I-65 to Leeds, and then north to really Vestavia. So that's where the kind of cutoff is. So this is the North Shelby area. This is the area that I grew up in. I went to Oak Mountain, so I know most of these roads, these streets, these neighborhoods like the back of my hand, which is really nice. So we're just going to kind of start at what our criteria is. So for this area, I looked it up the other day. The average sales price is about 400,000. And so we are going to actually, let me take a step back. The average sales price here, the average sales price in Chelsea is about 400 grand. So the average sales price here is actually about 600,000. But due to the limited number of homes on the market, over 1.2 million, we are going to bump it down to 800,000 as our low number, and consider those luxuries so that we have a little bit more to look at, because not everybody out there has a $1.2 million house to kind of sell and to look at or to purchase. So 800,000 is still in that range. And so that's what we are really going to look at today, at least here in the North Shelby area. So there's 25 houses on the market at the moment that are over 800 grand. As you can see, the cheapest one is 825,000, which is over 800,000. The average here, if you see this, it's $1,328,043. And you see that our high price here is right at $3 million. So let's just take a look at where some of these houses are, and we'll kind of get a grip on where these houses are being listed. If you have a house in that area, what you can kind of expect, and just so you can understand and get a grip on what real estate's doing right now. So if you see here, we've got the Village at Highlands. We've got Highland Lakes right here. This is 850,000. Inverness, 850,000. Mount Laurel, 875,000. Shoal Creek, we've got 895, which is probably one of the cheapest houses that you're going to find in the Shoal Creek community. Mount Laurel, Highland Lakes, all under 900 grand. So if you bump it up a little bit, you start to get over the $1 million mark. See Mount Laurel, Greystone, Shoal Creek, Brock Point, which Brock Point is a kind of a new construction community down Donovan Valley Road, past Greystone, past Mount Laurel and all that. So it's a very nice community. And then you still have Greystone, Highland Lakes. You've got a Heatherwood house right here, which they just dropped the price on. So this is a new construction build. Saddle Creek, and then Indian Springs. You get into the Indian Springs section now. You go well down 119 and you get into Indian Springs. What else do we have? Greystone Crest, beautiful views, fantastic community. Shoal Creek, and then the most expensive house in the area is an Indian Springs house. And it's a beautiful home. One of our agents, Drew Taylor, has this house listed, and it is fantastic. It's 9,100 square feet. It's got a huge barn with a big basketball court in it. An amazing outdoor section here with the pool, and then you've got 7.5 acres to do what you want with. So this house has been listed multiple times, but it is a beautiful home. And if you're interested in it, shoot me a message so we can go take a look at it. So that is the most expensive house on the market at the moment in the North Shelby area. And it has been on the market for 26 days right now. So we'll kind of take a look at what these days on market over here on the right-hand side kind of mean, and what you can expect if you are selling a house that is a luxury home, especially over $1 million. So as you see here, you've got 26 days for the most expensive house at $3 million. And then you go straight to 360 days on the market for 5 Wingfoot Run and Shoal Creek at $2.65 million. This house was built in 94. Shoal Creek is a very prestigious community. Things take longer to sell there because people are proud of what they have, and they should be proud of what they have. So, and they can hold out for it. They don't have to sell in 5 days. So 360 days on market for that. You've got this house at Woodbury Place in Forest Parks, $2.395 million, 162 days on the market. This house was actually just painted. It has a fantastic view. You can see it from Highway 280. It is pretty stunning. And then you've got these houses that really haven't been on the market very long. You've got 244 South Oak Drive, which is a stunning place. 26 days on the market, built in 2022, so new construction. Then you've got a Greystone Crest house, which is 30 days on the market as well. So these houses are getting listed. Somebody, people are out there ready to sell, and it's up to us agents, if we want to sell luxury, to get out there and get in touch with them, get in front of them, and so that we can maybe list them. If you keep going, you see that 1.5 million here in Indian Springs has been on the market for 191 days. And then you have Saddle Creek, which has been on for 215 days. So as you can see, we've got things all over the board. This house was just listed. It's brand new construction in Mount Laurel. And you've got a couple other ones in Highland Lakes that are brand new construction that have just been listed. So there are new luxury houses coming on the market because it's just that time of the year. People like to sell their houses in the warmer months, spring, summer, and people have the time to go look at houses. They like to get out pretty days, look at houses. And so you're going to see a lot more houses pop up as the summer continues. But as you can see, there are some houses that sit on the market for a while. And this can be due to pricing. If you want to hold out on your price because you want a certain number for your house, then your house might sit on the market for a while. So when you take on these high dollar listings, pricing is very, very important if you want to sell quickly. So we're going to go and we're going to create a new search here. And instead of looking at actives, we are going to look at solds over 800,000 within this year. So we've got 40 houses that have sold over 800 grand in the North Shelby area. And that's just this year since the start of 2023. So that's 4.5 months in now. Which that's promising for a lot of luxury real estate, is that people are buying these houses. A lot of these go cash, especially houses over $1 million. They go cash, and so you don't really have to worry about appraisals and all that jazz with a loan, which definitely helps with the sale of luxury real estate. So as you can see here, we have our high right here. Our list price was 3.295 million, and it sold for 3.15 million. We have our low, which our list price was 750, and then it sold for 800,000. So that averages out to a 1.219663 average list price and a $1,186,214 sold price as an average house. That's in the luxury market. So that is promising for you if you have a house in this area that you feel you can get the most out of, then here's your numbers. So as you can see right here on the right-hand side, we're going to look at these days on market again. So a lot of these sell pretty quickly. You see 1 day, 0, 3, 6, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So a lot of these are selling very, very quickly because people are out there looking for houses right now. Now that you do have a couple of these that stay on the market for a little while, 113, 71, 26, 48, 39, 207, 149, 16, 99, 34. But, what I feel is that these houses that sold very quickly, 3 days, 4 days, 0, even 34 days on the market really isn't that long, especially for a house that's $1 million, is choosing the right agent that's actually going to market your property. There's a lot of agents out there that might have built up a name, and they'll list a lot of houses. They do a good job, but they have so many houses that, some houses get thrown to the wayside on their marketing. And I think it's important that you, as a seller, choose the right agent to market your property and what that looks like. Because you got to have exposure on these places and get the word out there that your $1 million house, your $2 million house is on the market for sale. And people need to see that. So let's just keep looking. See, now we have a 380 right here in Indian Springs, 1.35. Things in Indian Springs tend to stay on the market a little bit longer. You got 437 in Shoal Creek, 394 in Greystone, 133 in Shoal Creek. But for the majority, we have that $3.15 million house right here in Shoal Creek, Augusta Way. So for the majority, though, these properties have not been on the market too long. On average, I don't know what the exact average is, but it's probably right there in the 50-day range, just because of these skewed numbers with 0 days on market where people were gobbling them up. It's probably somewhere in that 50-day range, and that's encouraging for somebody who has luxury real estate ready to sell. So if you do have it and you're looking to sell, that gives you kind of a time frame. If you can get your house sold in 60 days or less, what does your life look like? So keep that in mind. We're going to move, though, from the North Shelby area to the Chelsea area and kind of take a look at what real estate looks like there for luxury. I will go ahead and tell you it's not going to be as much, at least volume-wise and inventory-wise, But more and more people are moving to Chelsea, which is great to see. And it's just becoming more popular. So the real estate is obviously going to keep up with that demand. There's a lot of new construction going on, but the luxury real estate, you have a couple different neighborhoods that are considered a luxury. You have Terra, even Chelsea Farms a little bit is luxury. So they're out there. You've got the Highlands as well, which is a very, very nice community. So we're going to switch to Chelsea and kind of take a look at what's going on here for the past year. So we're going to see what's active right now, and we're going to actually bump it down to 750,000. See what's on the market. So we've got 9 houses on the market at the moment. So we have 9 houses on the market at the moment, which is, it's a lot less than what's over on the North Shelby side. And that's okay. The real estate over in North Shelby has been appreciating a ton over the last couple of years, and Chelsea is on its way to do the exact same thing. People are continually moving down to 80 from the city. So we'll see here in the next couple of years on what real estate has to offer for Chelsea. But let's take a look at kind of what we have on the market right now for luxury in Chelsea. So we've got these new construction homes. These are, this is Edelman houses right here. As you can see here, this is a Holland home. And I don't know what this house is. This is a Chelsea Cove house, which is really, I know it says Chelsea, but I think it is actually zoned Pelham schools, which is tough for families who want to live in Chelsea that are on that edge of Pelham and Chelsea school system. So keep that in mind when you are looking in Chelsea as a buyer, what that looks like for you. And as a seller, if you are in Chelsea city limits, but you have a Pelham school system address, your house might not be worth as much, but we can discuss that if you need to sell your home. So if you look here, your first 4 houses are all new construction homes. And that is in that $750,000 to $850,000 range, $870,000 range here. And then you bump straight over $1 million, a far ways over $1 million. And you go straight to 257 days on the market. Personally, this house is a little interesting. It has a lot of acreage, so that's why they feel that it's worth $1.8 million. You've got this farm here. This is a family compound, which is a very cool place. And I think it would be an awesome investment to have. It is $1.9 million, so $2 million for it's a ton of land and it's 3 houses. It's a big old lake. So it is a really, really interesting, cool, and awesome place. If you're a local and if you have ever hiked up King's Chair in Oak Mountain and you look out over and you see there's a pond or a lake down below you off the cliff, that is this property. So this is off of Belcher Road. And again, it's like 80 something acres, 3 houses. It is a really cool place. And then you have Weisenhunt Road here, which was just listed 10 days ago by one of our good friends, Jody Gann. And it is a beautiful farmhouse. And on a bunch of acres as well, has a huge barn. It's very, very nice. But you see that's 2.595 million, and it's been 10 days on the market. So things in Chelsea are not selling that fast. So especially this luxury real estate. You see this Autumn Ridge Drive here. Autumn Ridge is connected to the neighborhood of Terra. So Autumn Ridge has just a couple houses in it. Some very, very big farmhouses. This house is a mansion. It is huge. It sits up on a hill, has a beautiful view. And it's been on the market for 323 days, and it was previously listed for 632 days. So in my opinion, that is going to be a price perspective and more marketing. So if you can get the price adjusted a little bit and really heavily push some marketing, get some people in there, get other agents in there to do a ton of video of it and get it out and get some exposure on it, you might have a little bit more luck on getting some showings on there. So, and then you have the most expensive house in Chelsea, which is like 16,000 square feet, 8 bedrooms, 9 baths for $4.85 million. And it is a stunner of a lodge. And it sits off behind in this gated little community, and it is fantastic. As you can see, they relisted it 73 days ago. It was previously on the market for 433 days. So the houses that are, really up there, multi-million dollars, 2.5, 3.7, 3.9, over 4 million, almost $5 million, they are staying on the market for a very long time. Those buyers that can purchase those, they might not be looking in Chelsea yet. They're either, maybe looking in Chelsea and want a lot of acreage, or they are buying back in the North Shelby area where they're a lot closer to things. So something to think about if you do have a luxury house in Chelsea and you're wanting to list it and you're like, my house is worth $2.5 million. It might be, but what is the buyer situation looking like? And how long is your house going to sit on the market? Because the one thing that I hate the most is when a listing gets stale and it sits on the market. This 257 days on market here, that's a stale listing. And so it's hard to drum up a lot of business, a lot of exposure on that after it's been on the market for so long, because the immediate thing is, well, why hadn't somebody else sold it? Or why hadn't somebody else bought it? So something to think about as a seller in the luxury game. I am going to look at over here. We're going to bump over here to look at solds, what has sold in Chelsea this year so far over 750,000. And we've got 7 houses this year that has sold over 750,000. And the reason that I'm bringing Chelsea up right now is because it's where I live. It's where, I know roads the best. Like I was saying, I grew up in the North Shelby area, went to Oak Mountain, grew up in the Oak Mountain, Indian Springs area. So that is really my bread and butter. I know that stuff like the back of my hand, but I know Chelsea as well because I live here, been a resident for 6 years. So I understand where things are and what neighborhoods and subdivisions are really the luxury estates. So let's take a look at what has sold over 750,000 in Chelsea this year. So we have 7 total homes, the most expensive being 1.2 million. So that goes to show you with those houses that are listed right now over 1.2 million, you've got a very select range of buyers. So you have some buyers that aren't going up that high right now, and that's okay. But I just think that some of those houses that are on the market for that much, they just haven't had the exposure that they need to the people who can actually purchase them. So if you look here at the days on market, we're just going to take a look at that. This here, it says 1,040. That's been a lot of time on market. I don't know if that's a correct number or not. This house it's off in the country, so it could very well be a correct number. It is a massive house on a good piece of property of 15 acres. It's 9,200 square feet total, and it was originally listed at 1.8 million, and it sold at 1.2 million for cash. And it is an interesting home. So it's pretty outdated on the inside, and makes it tough to sell. So right here, it instantly goes back under a million, 0 days on market, 36 days, 0, 3, 0, 0. So the things that are selling in that $700,000 to $900,000 range are good. They sell quickly. This house right here, this Wisenhunt Road house, this was previously listed before it sold, and it stayed on the market for a little while itself. So this is encouraging to a seller who has anything over $750,000 that they feel they're ready to get rid of, you can expect to, depending on what your house looks like, you can expect to see your house get a lot of attention in that $750,000 to $950,000 range. So that's exciting for Chelsea, the community of Chelsea, even though only 7 houses have sold over 750,000 right now. That's okay, because the inventory that's out there, people aren't moving as much from Chelsea because they have just moved from North Shelby into Chelsea, most likely. So, or they've been here for a very long time and they're holding on to everything, which is fine. But that's kind of what you can expect as a seller. You can expect to see your house get a lot of attention in this price range. If you go way too high on your price range, like the $1.5, $2 million, $3 million mark, you're not going to get a lot of attention. You're going to have people talking about it, but you might not get a lot of showings because there's not that many buyers for that. But for this price range to 750 to 950, I think that is a good price range for some luxury real estate in Chelsea. So if you're a seller and you're thinking about selling and you want a CMA on your home, comparative market analysis to see what your house is worth, hit me up. I'll be happy to send something your way. So again, guys, the reason we're talking about Chelsea is because I'm a resident here. Same with North Shelby, and they're very linked together. A lot of people who live in North Shelby move to Chelsea. So we're going to look at we're going to look at some expireds, what's expired this year over $1 million, or really over our $750,000 mark in Chelsea. We'll see what has expired here. And then we'll also go back to the North Shelby side and see what has expired there. So let's go here. Let's put status date 01/01/2023. So we've got 2 houses in Chelsea that have expired this year, and that is Shire Valley Farms, 1.2 million, and that is also Crazy A Horse Farm here on Highway 39, which is just a couple minutes from my house, at 1.5 million. One spent 14 days on the market, so I don't know what they were doing there. It could have been some kind of exclusive listing that they only had listed for 2 weeks. The seller was like, hey, you got 2 weeks to try to sell it. We'll see if we can get any business on it. If not, we're going to hold off. And then the other one spent 200 days on the market. And my parents actually went over to that house and went inside of it. And, it's a great place. It's just got to have the right person to purchase it. So 2 houses have expired that are considered luxury here in Chelsea. This was just this year, so 4.5 months in, we've got a couple of expireds. Of course, these were listed. The 200-day Crazy A Horse Farm was listed last year and just expired this year. So, but that's also good to know if you are listing your house. In Chelsea, in that price range again, you might not have an expired listing, which is good for sellers. So let's go over back to North Shelby and see what has expired this year over 800,000. So you have 6 houses that have expired over 800,000. The least expensive being $899, and the most expensive being $2.9. So, and there's a couple of these houses that have already been listed again, like this 244 South Oak Drive. This was already listed again. It's been 83 days on the market and is back on the market. Beautiful house. This 83 Burnham Street here, this house has been listed for years. It just kind of gets tossed around. It's a very interesting home. It is not a very classical design or anything of that nature. So it is going to take somebody special who wants to purchase this house in Mount Laurel. The Mount Laurel community itself is beautiful, and it's a fantastic place. As you see, 3 houses in Mount Laurel alone have expired this year. So 2 over $1 million, 1 at 900,000. And then you have the most expensive at 2.9 million. built in 1979, spent 365 days on the market, which is 1 year total. And this is, so the reason this has expired is because this is what it looks like. And this is actually a commercial property. This butts up right next to Lee Branch, the shopping center of Lee Branch. And so they are trying to sell it as a kind of a retirement community lot where you can build on it. It's got a little pond, and it might not be a bad investment for somebody, but it has expired, been on market for a very long time. They are just asking quite a lot of money for it. So if they want to sell it, they might need to reduce the price. But that goes to show you kind of what is expiring right now, how long they spent, how many days on market before they expired. So, nothing other than this house here, which is already relisted, nothing under 100 days, nothing under 125 days. It's close to 128 days in gray zone. So something to consider when you are thinking about selling. How long is your house going to sit on the market? Is it going to be an expired? And again, it goes back to who is the agent you're hiring? Are they going to do a lot of marketing for it? Are they going to push it out? Are they going to get people in there? Are they going to host agent open houses? Are they going to do crazy things to get people inside your house so that they can sell it? I think you need to interview your agents properly and make sure they have a plan in place to market your property efficiently and effectively according to what people are seeing nowadays. So keep that in mind when you are trying to sell your house in the luxury market in the North Shelby area. So this kind of wraps up our first ever, I'm going to stop sharing real quick so I can talk. So this wraps up our first ever Birmingham luxury market update. So I hope this gives you a little insight about what's going on south of Birmingham. We will get into the Vestavia, Homewood, Mountain Brook areas as well, but that is not necessarily my bread and butter. I have spent a lot of time there, but I've spent way more time in the North Shelby and Hoover area and Chelsea. So I know the market a little bit better. I know the roads better. I know the neighborhoods a lot better as well. So if you're interested in purchasing real estate, keep looking. The house is going to be out there for you. If you're interested in selling real estate, keep an eye on the market. Find you a good trusted agent that can price your house correctly and market your house correctly. So thank you all for tuning in for this. If you liked this video, you like this style of video, and you want to learn more about the luxury real estate around Birmingham, drop a like, drop a comment, hit subscribe, and share with somebody if you will. I really, really appreciate you joining me today, and I cannot wait to see you on Sunday for another house tour.